How goes the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys are having a great night. I have the distinguished honor and pleasure of having a great family member, one of my favorite family members, to come on my channel and my broadcast tonight. Because most of my family, they get on my nerves, but this is one of my favorite peoples in the world. Always been there, always been a good person. So definitely got to show him love. And we're gonna talk about his career as being a trucking entrepreneur and all that good stuff. All right. So without further ado, let's give him a round of applause. Bring in Mr. Corey Langley. All right. What's going on, young man?
What's going on, cuz?
Hey, everything's all good in the hood. I'm at home. I can't complain, man. Life is good.
Yeah, I had them 10 days. Go ahead.
I'm glad to see you back safe and sound and whatnot. You didn't have to drive out in this craziness today, did you?
Yes, I did. I made it home today at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Lord have mercy.
So the trees was down. You guys
Really?
had ice. From Where was it? Aberdeen, not Aberdeen. Jessup, from Jessup all the way to the Emporia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. I'm glad you got back down safe and sound, because I know you guys have any power issues, because I know in Southern Virginia they had a lot of power issues going out.
Well, no, there wasn't hold on one second. Let me get this off my neck.
No problem. Take your time.
This mask that I keep around my neck, so when I get out the truck, I know I got a mask and I don't have to turn around and walk back. No, I didn't have no problems. I just had to sit for 45 minutes and stop traffic for when the tree went down. Two cars tried to swerve out the way of the tree, and they hit ran into a guardrail.
Oh Lord!
Ran right off the road.
Man, I'm just glad you got home safe and sound, man, because it's crazy slippery out there.
Yeah, yeah.
At least you wasn't stuck in like Massachusetts, well, I know if you was in Connecticut, you would have been good to go.
Yeah. I stay right with family.
I know that's right, and get that good pizza up there, right?
Well, I had that last night.
I know that's right. I'm not mad at you.
Famous was on the menu last night.
Man, just making me jealous and whatnot. So tell everybody about yourself, Mr. Corey Langley. Tell them about yourself, where you're from, and how you got into the trucking business.
Okay. I'm from Norwalk, Connecticut. What happened, I tell you, I got myself in a little bit of trouble once my father passed away. And I worked for my father since I was 14 years old up until he passed away. And when I was sitting, let me get this right now. When Obama came in office, that's when the market crashed. Right. And once the market crashed, I was paying attention and watching the news and seeing where the job market was. The only jobs in the job market were transportation, one, and
now it looks like you muted yourself. Oh, let me see if I can unmute you. There you go. Hey, Corey, you got to unmute yourself.
But by accident. There we go. Got it?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I had already said, let me see if I turn it, will it flip bigger? No. Okay. I had already said that I was going to get my CDL license. I had been already contemplating getting my CDL license. So I said I was going to get my CDL license, and I don't want to work for anybody else, because I had already been through, after my father had died, trying to find a job, and nobody didn't want to hire me. Everybody was saying, you are going to want too much money. They wouldn't tell me I want too much money after they see me working somewhere, like I was working at the cemetery. I would have hired you, but I thought you was going to want too much money. Well,
Mm,
that's what was the thing about saying, you know what, I'm not gonna work for not $8 or $9 or $10 an hour. So I got lucky. I went to auto mechanic school because I did say I was gonna do that. Went to
right.
mechanic school to learn about fixing the cars in my truck. And then while I was working at New Milford Farms, they kept asking me because I know how to operate heavy equipment. Do you got your CDLs? Do you have your CDLs? And I would be like, nah, that's the only thing I don't got. So I went to school, started marching that path that I was thinking about doing when I first had came home, and I got my CDLs. And then um I when I did get my CDLs, they wouldn't give me the truck driving position. They paid me literally. They gave me a $2.50 raise a week prior
Mm,
when I got my CDL license. They put an ad in the paper for a
right.
truck driver. I seen the ad. I walked in the office and I said, I'm putting my 2 weeks in. Okay. They literally gave me another $2.50 raise
uh,
not to drive the truck.
mm, mm, mm.
Okay, not to drive the truck. But
That's crazy.
that's what made me. And I don't even. I'm not a racist person, but I was living in the area where my
Mm,
mother lives in New Milford, Connecticut, so
mm,
I already know the game they play.
got you.
And so, at that point in time, I was like, as soon as I get off, I was on parole. Soon as
Mm,
my parole officer, I got to 6 months. My parole officer had told me, "We'll revisit this. Leaving the state in the truck when you get to
mm,
6 months." The
mm.
moment I got to them 6 months, I waited for them 6 months. I never said anything. I
Right.
came and sat down at that 6 month mark. I said, "Okay, we at the 6 month mark. Now, can I leave and go in the truck?" So he called his boss and he asked his boss, and his boss said he never gave him a problem, da 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 da, never give him
uh,
a dirty urine. And he said, all right, he could go. And
okay.
I think I was the one of the first ones that did it. And then the state of Connecticut started letting guys go and get in a tractor trailer and literally leave the state of Connecticut.
That's good. That's real good to hear. Because
Mhm.
and I guess in a sense, like the rest is history since then, right?
Exactly. I went to Road Tex. I went to a Russian company.
Mm,
And like I would tell anybody, when you're in school, you convicted felon, the first thing they're gonna tell you, you're gonna have a hard time finding a truck driving job.
mm,
And so I said to myself, and my mother used to tell me, you do not let anybody make your destiny. You go
right.
make your own destiny. And
Mm,
so I did the homework. I would go online and find out what trucking companies will hire a convicted felon and how many years you had to be from your conviction date. And I literally went to back to my school, and they had said, we got this company that will hire convicted felons, and they don't care when your conviction date was. And so by helping find by being helped find through them, but by doing my own homework, I
mm.
decided to go with the company Road Tex. And that just started my role right there. It's like my vision started coming the way I wanted to come into fruition.
Mm. And how long have you actually been? I mean, it seems like it was forever ago, but how long have you actually been in the trucking business right now?
It's been uh, this is my 6th year. No, this has been my 7th year. seven
Mm.
years driving. 7 years driving.
And what advice would you give to anyone thinking if they came to you right now and said, "Hey, I want to get my CDL license"? What measures do you think they should take first?
Well, first thing I would say to them, and that is, if you could go to a school on your own, get a loan, pay for it, or however, go to school on your own.
Mm.
Um, if you can't afford to go to school on your own, then you have companies out there that they are trucking schools.
Mm.
The bad part about it is, actually, I know a young lady right now who's in this situation, was in this situation right as we're speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she decided to go with CR England,
Mm.
and I advised her not to go there. Okay, but she went anyway,
She did it anyways.
and now she was either she could go home after she got her license, but now they tell her you owe us $7,000. They
Mm.
didn't, it's not like you come to me and say, well, if you come here and you don't stay, then you can leave, but you're gonna have to pay us $7,000. No,
Right.
after you do all of that and then you want to leave, they tell you owe them $7,000. After you go there and you get your license, even if you stay for the 2 years, you still owe them $5,000. See,
That's
so they're
crazy.
not being truthful to you up front, so that you can use an option. So
that
that's
that
why
that
I say,
got you. That's crazy and whatnot. And do you? And with that being said, because I remember you was telling me about that last time we talked and whatnot. Would you recommend people like before they even try to get their CDL to like work for like a box truck company, like maybe work for UPS or FedEx and whatnot, driving the smaller vehicles to see how they like it? Just that because that's driving from a local perspective, and then go from there. What do you think?
that happens too, because I know I got a cousin who worked for UPS, driving the vans, the small vans, doing the local, and
Uh,
UPS literally paid for some of these guys to go and get their CDL.
oh,
And
is that right? I didn't know that.
yeah, UPS will pay if you want that option and you want to move up, and you talk to them, they will put you on. They would put you on UPS Freight. Now, here's the bad thing. Now, UPS Freight just sold out their division.
Mm, is that right?
Yeah. Now that's where information like a trucker could tell you. UPS just sold their most of their they subcontracted all of their trucking stuff out.
Mm,
Only I don't know how much of it they kept,
hmm.
but I know they sold UPS Freight alone.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't even realize that. And do you use? Because I heard the app. Do you use Uber Freight? Because I heard that makes it a lot easier for truckers and whatnot to figure out where to pick up their specific loads and all that good stuff.
For me per se, right now, I'm on the app. So
Got you.
I took uh there's many ways to buy a truck. So let's go there first before we go to Uber Freight. Um I bought when I bought my truck, I bought my first truck from there was a trucking company called Celadon.
Right.
Celadon used to sell trucks.
Hmm.
Problem is, and then so I went with a company called Falcon Blue Diamond, and what they do is they give Celadon the promise to pay.
Mm.
So when you buy the truck, they make sure that they take the payment out of your settlement, and so they could make sure that the truck or trailer, whatever you buy, goes straight to Celadon. You never really see the money. I call it taxation without representation. You don't pay, they pay. But anyway, uh, uh,
that much I can understand for real.
uh, so when you go that route, I I was on the low board,
Okay.
and they were on the low board for me.
Mm.
Here's the problem that I have, like with Uber Freight, they just had came out. So being that they had just came out,
Hmm.
they didn't really have a lot of loads.
Got you.
Um, the best load board, and I forgot the name of it because I'm not really on the load board anymore.
Uh-huh.
They got a real good load board that you pay like $50 a 50 I think it was like $50 a month every month. And
Mm-hmm.
and I forgot the name of that load board because I talked to the lady yesterday and she says I'm going up on the board right now, but I don't deal with it anymore. Is they go through that load board, and that's got mostly all the major loads up there. The problem is, and when you're open owner operator, is you're in competition with Prime,
Mm-hmm.
Warner,
Mm.
uh Western Express, Krusty Kress, which is CRST, which they also all these companies are big companies. I call them the Power Five. They get
Okay.
majority of the good loads.
Got you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they also reason why they got refrigerators, they got flatbeds, they got
Mm-hmm.
drive-ins.
Mm.
Okay, so they kind of got the market corner to making sure that a load get from A to B.
Got you. That makes perfect sense.
Right.
Oh,
That so they got the majority of the loads. That's those are all that 90 those companies, those Power Five, I call them.
mm-hmm.
They pay pretty good, but they don't pay pretty good. Meaning, when you start out, you might get 28 cents a mile.
Oh, is that right?
And if you drive in 2,600 miles a week, that'll amount to about your gross to be about $1,500.
Mm. Okay.
If you literally got to sit down and do the math to figure out, okay, if I had 30 was driving 30 cents a mile, if I'm making 30 cents a mile and I drove 2,500, how much do I make? Well, they already know that number. They know that figure already.
Got you. It's already calculated.
And yeah, it's already calculated. Then after taxes, you bring home probably $1,200 out of all of
Mm.
that. And for a person coming out of school,
Mm-hmm.
that's good money.
I know
Now
that's right.
UPS plays different.
Mm.
UPS pays their drivers about an hour
Mm.
because they're local drivers. But
Right.
local drivers get $32 an hour.
Got you.
But my thing with for me being a local driver is I'm going to talk about hours of service. So let me give you an explanation what that is, so that even before you can person come out here, we have our hours of service is like a time clock.
Okay.
So you could drive 11 hours out the day,
Mm.
and you can only be on duty for 14 hours. But
Got you.
here's the catch 22: you can only drive 70 hours in 8 days.
Mm. Got you.
So that make if you now if you start, you can only be really technically you can only be on duty really drive or on duty 8.5 hours a day
Mm.
in
Got you.
order to continually go 352 days out the year. You can only you got to do 8.5 days, 8.5 days. Now you can any way you want to. You can work 4.5 hours a day, and you can work 14 hours tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
8.5 and 8.5, you got to have 17. The problem
Got
when
you.
you do that is we do what it's called a recap. So after that eighth day at midnight, you would start getting the hours back for whenever that eighth day is. So, like for
Got
instance,
you.
I just did it. I just recap. I've been out for 10 days. So I
Mm-hmm.
average 8.5 hours a day. But
Got
one
you.
day I drove 10 hours. Then the next day I drove 5 hours. And then I drove
Mm-hmm.
10, 7, 5, 7. And then I kept going and going and going until I got enough hours to get back. And as I gotta watch, so I would have to watch how many hours I exactly drove every day. That's just,
Got you.
but your your uh your hours of service or my e-log is on my phone. That's my
Mm-hmm.
time clock,
Got you.
and that's
Got
what a
you.
DOT officer gonna look at. First thing he gonna say is, "I need to see your logbook."
Got you. And
You know,
it seems like during the pandemic, truck drivers have been killing it. I think they've been, even especially in the beginning, they were getting like a little bit extra more money and whatnot because of the load increase and things of that nature. At least from what I've been hearing from my other truck driving friends, because I got a lot of them that live down in Houston or they live in Vegas or Phoenix and whatnot. And there's been an increase in demand and whatnot of products because more and more people are ordering stuff from home and whatnot. So I noticed that they've been killing it during this whole pandemic. Have you been getting an increase in business during the pandemic, or has it just been business as usual?
for me, I don't haul products that they may haul.
Got
I
you.
haul cabinets. I do.
Got you.
I got a dedicated route where I haul cabinets out of North Carolina to the um these cabinets really cost money, so they'll load my load pay real good.
Got
So
you.
on the way back, I haul catalytic converters back to North Carolina to the factory that makes them in Pennsylvania back to North Carolina, or sometimes I'm hauling clothes that go from like there's a factory in Jersey, they send clothes that deliver to City Trends.
Got you. Got you.
Okay, so I go to City Trends warehouse down in Florence, South Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
or for or I'll pick up some water or something like that. Water don't pay. That stuff don't pay. Water,
Okay.
beer, that stuff don't pay. That stuff pay like $700, $800, but it's enough to get me home.
Got you. Got
My
you.
money is going up north. My money not coming home. I got a load right now. I got 9 pallets. It paid $1,400. All in $1,400. But
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go all the way almost to Myrtle Beach
Got you.
to deliver that load. And I picked it up all the way up in Massachusetts. So
Mm.
that's not worth it. But it gets me home. So yeah, that's the one thing. Because people don't understand. As an owner operator, everything is on me.
Right.
All costs
Exactly.
on the truck is on me. So you take a load that paid $1,400,
Mm-hmm.
and for instance, the front tire, I'll show you. Cause I got a truck sitting right here. My son's
Mm-hmm.
got toys. Trucks running around here. Where's this truck right now? I just bought him one. Okay, if I can show it to you, you can see this truck right here, right? You can see this truck.
Right. Yes,
All right, I'm
sir.
gonna point at a tire.
All right.
See this tire right here? I got my finger on that I'm spinning.
Yes, sir.
One of those tires is $875.
Mm.
Just one of those tires.
Got you.
Okay, you get a flat tire and you stuck on the side of the road, and somebody got to come out to you.
Mm-hmm.
You just spent $1,000 on that tire.
Mm.
Okay, so that's what the people got to understand, that I already put $300 worth of fuel in the truck. Now
Right.
I get a flat tire. A load only paid $1,400. I
Mm.
still got to pay the tolls. What I make.
Got you. I see where you're going. I mean, and I guess the other good upside caveat to that is that you being an owner operator, you get more tax write-offs because of all the money that's being spent and whatnot, and the maintenance and all the tolls, et cetera, and so forth. Correct?
Exactly. I can write off a pack of bubble gum. Okay, anything that I spend when I'm outside of home, I can write it off.
I
Whatever
know
I
that's right.
spend.
I know that's
So
right. That's how, and that's the beautiful aspects of being a boss and whatnot. You work a lot harder, but you get a lot more benefits all at the same time and whatnot. And that actually goes into my next question, because one of my friends that lives in Houston, he's an owner operator and he has his hazmat license. Would you recommend people obtaining their hazmat license in the future, or just first as soon as they get their CDL license? Because down in Houston, that's nothing but chemical aisle. The whole state of Texas, nothing but chemical companies all over the place and whatnot.
right,
So he's
right.
that's where he saw for him, that's where the money was. Especially given the fact if he only has to haul it either locally sometimes or just in the surrounding areas, like go to Oklahoma, go to Louisiana and whatnot. So would you
First
recommend
off,
people getting that?
and it depends on who you are. It depends on um you know if you feel comfortable
Hmm.
with a bomb on your back. That's what I call it. You got a bomb on your back. Now, I don't know if you was paying attention yesterday to what was going on the highway in Texas with their ice.
Yeah.
When okay, those you riding and you on that ice like that, and you hit them brakes, and that truck don't stop, and you got a
Mm.
bomb on your back.
Mm.
That's my thing. I don't have hazmat. I never wanted hazmat because of that. Um, I do have my other endorsements, but if you're gonna do it, my thing is get your license first,
Right.
because if you got the endorsement on your when you get your permit, when you take
Mm-hmm.
your drive test, they're gonna expect you to do stop. I think it's 25 feet from the railroad track. Make sure
Mm-hmm.
you look both ways. You know, you'd have to do all of that during your. They would force you to do that during your hazmat test. If you do it when you after you get your license, then
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to worry about taking the drive test, doing the hazmat, all of the extra steps for the hazmat.
Got
So,
you. Yeah,
but you
you
got to get
definitely.
fingerprinted. You got to
Mm.
go to the police department and get a criminal record. All of that done. Now, not to say you won't get it,
Right.
but you know you have to go through that. And the only reason why they're going to look for is see if you built a bomb, try to set a car or kill somebody, setting a car on fire using gasoline or any other kind. That would be the only way that you won't get it. That's just like getting going on a port. When you live in a place like Texas, you need a
Right.
twit card.
Mm-hmm.
And because most of the places you could go, like Texas, like you said, you don't never have to leave the state of Texas and make no money.
You got
Texas
that right.
is a country within itself.
That's
Okay,
true. That's true.
it's big enough to be a country.
It's true.
Um,
I mean, just keeping
okay,
it real, especially in that
yeah,
area, in the Houston, Galveston area and whatnot. It's like a gold mine for people that's in the transportation industry.
yeah, because they could go from if you had in Houston, just let's take Houston for instance. It's 600 miles to El Paso. And
Mm-hmm.
people don't know El Paso is the Mexican border by Arizona
Yep.
and New Mexico.
Mm-hmm. New
New
Mexico.
Mexico is first. Okay. You could go down to Laredo. That's 700 miles from Houston. That's
Mm.
on the Mexican border. I've done it. I went all the way down to Corpus Christi. That
Mm-hmm.
took me about 6 hours. It's about 2.5 hours from Houston to San Antonio. I know it's 3.5 hours to Dallas. So Texas is a whole nother country. It's not like you driving from Virginia. It's three and a
Right.
half hours literally from the top of Virginia to the North Carolina border. I'm talking about from one city to the next. It's 3.5 hours.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's why they have like the top tier trucking stops compared to anywhere else in the country, right?
Yeah, trucking is huge.
Yeah.
Trucking is their number one industry.
Yeah.
Um,
Because
that's where they make all their money.
yeah, I see that because I've been by a couple of the stops when I drove out in the middle of nowhere when I go down there, and I noticed that like their trucking stops look like you eat off the ground. They look so plush and clean, and it looks like you got literally everything there to where the point where you don't want to leave and whatnot.
Well, you want to leave because the wheels ain't turning. You ain't making no money.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know, it depends. It just depends on which one you at. Because you can look at it on the outside. Um, I've been to some where they got the McDonald's or something inside of it, but they
Hmm.
literally got guys that come there, pull up and cook on it. Their food when they start grilling there now they got some food that'll make you want to go right back to that truck stop because the dude gonna be there with some beef ribs or some beef this and they
Real
can cook,
barbecue.
yeah, real barbecue. When it come to like I say Texas is number one for beef
Yeah.
ribs and stuff like that. I love getting beef ribs when I'm out there. So
Yeah, Texas is known for football and barbecue. That's the number
yeah,
one thing. So
yeah.
let's just call it what it is. So what's the average prices of since you're an owner operator, what is the actual average prices of a specific truck nowadays that you know of? And would you recommend buying them new or used?
If it depends on how old you are. That's what I would say. If you was young, I would get me if I was 21 again, I'd buy a brand new truck.
Is that right?
I would have got the same truck I got. I got a truck. I got a Freightliner Classic. It's basically a Freightliner Classic. Like the truck that I just showed you, that's that more aerodynamic truck. So
Got you.
I like I said, I can always give you examples because my son, he tears them up. Actually, my truck is like this. My truck is more like this truck right here. This is like a Freightliner Classic. Can we see that clear?
Put a little bit closer. There you go. Yeah.
You see the whole truck now? So I got that long nose, and it's the sleeper berth, and then the back of the truck. That's what I got. Okay. So that's a Freightliner Classic. This truck right here, that is a Freightliner Cascadia. It's a big difference. My truck has what they call no DEF or no DEF, no diesel emission fluid. That Freightliner Cascadia, that comes with DEF fluid. And since they make you put that in your truck, the DEF, you can't go to California with a truck that does not have DEF, or you have to pay for that, right? You'd have to change over your whole your stacks. We call them stacks, but you have to change all of that, and that costs $12,000. I have what you call a glider kit, so they say I could go to California, but I could care less if I ever go back to California ever again. So that's just for me driving a truck. I know you love Cali. Okay.
Yeah, but it's different when you're going out there hauling and whatnot. I know it's a whole different story.
For me, there's nothing out there for me because the speed limit is 55 in a tractor trailer. I can't drive 55 in a car. Okay. So I know my cost in the truck is because I'm running 70 miles an hour. That's what I run.
I feel you. I'm not mad at you. I mean, hey, that you have the option, so hey, it's not like it's a big deal. And because when you first got your CDL, you was literally all over the United States. I remember I saw you in Wyoming, I saw you in Nevada, I saw you in California, I saw you in New Mexico, Texas. Like you saw this country when you first got your CDL. Okay, good, bad, and different, and whatnot.
Yeah. So because you have to do what you have to do. And my first company was go from Jersey to California on 80. So I've seen everything: Pennsylvania, Illinois, Indiana. I've really never been to Michigan. I've been to Michigan, but I've never been to Michigan with that company.
Got you.
Illinois. Then it was Iowa. Nebraska, then Wyoming and Colorado, depending.
Right.
In the Utah, Nevada, Cali. Come back. It was Cali, Arizona, New Mexico, Oklahoma and Texas are there, Oklahoma, Arkansas. Yeah, I done seen them all. Tennessee, in the mountains of Tennessee. And keep climbing up. Now you get back closer to Pennsylvania. Oh man, and all
over
Ohio, Ohio, Pennsylvania, back to Jersey, into New York, because we used to make our deliveries in New York.
So what was the worst state that you had to drive through?
They could cut the state of Wyoming clean off the map. It don't need to be there. There ain't nothing there. They could go. They could give matter of fact, they could give Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, all of Canada. Give it all to Canada. Michigan, you get Michigan to Canada too.
And it might as I mean it might as well be Canada, right? But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, especially Wyoming, I think that's like it has like the smallest populous state, and it's considered like the smallest populous state slash most boringest state in the whole country.
Next to Oregon.
Next, you said next. Well, Portland's not bad. I can't speak for the rest of Oregon, but Portland was a nice city and
Yeah, I've
whatnot.
been there. It's nice, but there's literally nothing but trees and open space. Because
Right.
you drove from California, so I know you drove 5, and all you did was ride through the redwood forest.
Basically, that's about the size of it. Yeah, because
Yeah,
once you leave, I mean, most people know in California there's only 2 parts of the state. There's Northern Cali around the Bay Area, and then there's Southern Cali, L.A. and San Diego and the surrounding counties. Outside of that, it's no man's land.
right.
Nothing but
Exactly.
desert and
That's
nothing going
right.
on. Like
Mm-hmm.
literally towns, places where people just should have forgotten, and let's just call it a day. So, you
Right.
know,
Exactly.
if you're gonna keep it real, you
Right.
know.
Well, that's how Wyoming is, and Wyoming their weather is the craziest
Right,
because that's like what's going on right now with our weather. Our
right,
weather is coming from PNW, as they call it,
uh,
Pacific Northwest.
right,
Okay, and people don't even understand what it's like to be over there on the East Coast because we just don't experience it until we get the tail end of what come off that Pacific Northwest. So,
that
like
is
right
true.
now, I told you, people would never believe it'll snow in California. Okay, but they get snow like no other from October
Yep.
to May 31st.
That's real.
Okay, so and once it start over there, once that machine start getting cranking, it
hmm
don't turn on.
That's real.
So
I mean, it's all in Northern California, but that's the God's honest truth. I mean, heck, they even
yeah,
got a little snow in Southern California this year. So, and it's like you said. I mean, it's funny that you mentioned the Pacific Northwest because when I first went out there to the Seattle, Portland area in 2017, and it was in November, I felt more cold out there than I ever did on the East Coast. You
right.
know,
Because
I was freezing my butt
it's
off.
different. Yeah, it's different
Yeah,
because you're
that's a
not
different kind
thinking
of cold
that
weather.
is that you thinking that oh it's nice. What we see on TV look nice,
Right.
but till you actually go over there and you see it, you know, they got wild animals.
Yep.
We don't have wild animals. So, you know, it's a big difference. They got elk, they got moose, okay, they got wolves, they got bear, they got real bear. They don't got
Yes,
black
sir.
bear, they got real bear.
Yes, sir.
You know, so it's a big difference.
That's the
So
God's honest truth. You know, let's just call it what it is.
yeah, so I don't deal with the moose unless I
Mhm.
go way up in Maine and Vermont. Now they'll come down because it's all those are mountains.
Right,
Maine and
right.
Vermont, New Hampshire,
Mhm.
top parts of Massachusetts, that's moose country in the mountains.
You got that right.
But you won't see none in Michigan. You won't see none again till you get to the Pacific Northwest.
Yep.
They don't come down. The American, well, actually, they call them American moose or moose. But if you go over to the Pacific Northwest, that's a caribou.
Mm.
But it's still a moose.
Exactly. It's like a moose is a moose in my personal
Yeah,
opinion. Let's just call it
yeah.
what it
So
is.
yeah,
You know, a
so
moose is
that's
a
just the
moose.
difference. Yeah, Canadian caribou is what it is. But they
That
don't
is
never go way across like that.
I,
So
I can believe that. Do you ever see yourself hauling anything up to Canada and whatnot since you basically get close to like the borderline and whatnot?
it's funny that I got a record. I can't even go into Canada.
Is that right? I didn't realize that.
Canada don't want no convicted felons in their country. You
Mm,
have to go out and get special permit to
Really?
literally be able to go in and out of Canada. Okay. Or you got to get, or I would have to get my record expunged. And I definitely don't want to deal with the Mexico border. That's
Got
a
you.
zoo
Got
down
you.
there. That's just a straight zoo. I don't even like to go to Laredo, and I don't really like to go to El Paso with a truck
Got
because
you.
it's a lot of down there.
Hmm.
Uh, it's a lot of robbery of freight.
Oh
They
yeah.
literally follow you to try to steal your truck down there. So,
I,
and as you know, in Texas, it's mountainous down there
right.
because there's mountains everywhere. People wouldn't believe it, but it's mountainous over there,
Hmm.
and um, there's a lot of desperate people in the world. Just put it like that.
Got
So
you.
if they
Got
think
you.
you got something in that truck that's worth a lot of money, they're
Hmm.
gonna try to take that truck.
Now
Yeah.
that I can believe that would not surprise me, to be honest with you. I didn't even realize that because yeah, it's like between that and then you have the cartels and then things of that nature. It's just like it's big business, and then people get those materials to sell for half off, and they make themselves a nice profit and whatnot. So that wouldn't
Not only
surprise
that,
me at all.
not only that, going into Mexico back in the day when it was lawless.
Right.
Okay, it's not lawless now. I mean, the trucking industry was lawless.
Hmm.
It was a time before they didn't do logs,
Got you.
so
Got you.
drivers would just write down, "I drove 8 hours and I drove 10 hours," and that was it. And they just that was it. It was lawless. So it was a lot of other stuff going on. Them guys going over the border, they was making money doing a whole lot of other stuff.
I can believe
Now
that.
they put that whip and crack on it on
Hmm.
on the game on the trucking industry, and that's
Right.
why it is the way it is now. Like I could probably make I could probably gross $500,000 when I was younger, when it was lawless,
Right.
but
Right.
now I can't gross $500,000. I could, but
Right.
I would have to haul the right stuff, meaning lobster. That's where the money at. Lobster,
Is that right?
cars, yeah. Get a contract with Mercedes because,
Hmm.
mind you, one Mercedes is $100,000 just for one car.
Got
Imagine
you.
having 10 of them cars on your truck.
I can
Yeah.
believe that. I can
Okay,
believe that.
so they got $1 million worth of cars on your truck. So
I can believe that.
they gonna pay to make sure them cars get from A to B without a scratch on them.
So is that where the real money is without you really risking your life compared to the hazmat?
The money is in hauling cars,
Hmm.
and that's where you would make your most amount of money.
Hmm.
Next is refrigerated.
Hmm.
Food is a commodity.
Mm.
Food is the biggest commodity you got out here. Um, so refrigerators, and then I would say flatbedding,
Hmm.
and then what I do, drive-in.
Okay. So
Drive-in will be the bottom of the barrel.
I can imagine that, especially like in Pennsylvania and whatnot, because I own property in Reading, and I noticed Pepperidge Farm is up there, and various other places because they have all that farmland there, and I noticed that's just Trucker Isle and all that good stuff. So I imagine there's a lot of money being made right there for them hauling all the food from the farms straight out the farms and whatnot to wherever destination that the food needs to go to. They're making a lot of money, making a killing right there. Correct me if I'm
Well,
wrong.
you could look at your people on the East Coast can't understand something that we understand in the South. You
What's
live in
that?
the South. They pay more for a gallon of milk than we do
Mm,
because all their milk come from here, from down south. So they
got you.
literally paying for the farmer to get it sold, to put it on a truck,
Hmm.
to it to go to whatever warehouse before it even get to the store.
Mm.
You understand? That's the process. Like meat, their meat costs more than ours.
Right.
Okay, because
Hmm.
they don't farm.
Mm.
They get paid not. They got paid not to farm.
Got you.
Okay, so all their food comes from here. So we pay $5, for instance. I live in North Carolina, so I know I go in the grocery store to buy chicken. So a family pack of chicken costs me $5 and some change.
Got
A
you.
family pack of chicken costs them $12, $14. A pack of hamburger meat costs them $20. A family pack of hamburger meat costs us $8, $9, $10 the most. So
Right,
we pay
right.
half of what they pay. Plus, our food is fresher.
Mm,
And then you notice that when you go on vacation,
mm.
when you go to, well, California is different. You love Cali, so I'm an ex Cali out for you because you can't haul nothing into Cali. Cali and Florida are two states that they don't need no other state to bring them anything. No food, no nothing. They're agriculture states.
That's true. And
Okay.
most people don't realize how much of Florida and California actually agriculture states and whatnot, all the farming that goes on there. But go ahead.
Right. But so they don't their food, you could eat their food and it won't affect you as much because it's just as fresh as our food. But when you go up north and you sit down and eat, your body, like when we go from up north to down south,
Right.
when we go back home, we gotta go straight to the bathroom. Okay. I know because I used to live and go to Myrtle Beach and come down south and eat.
Right, right.
And then go home, and now you know you in the bathroom trying, and you can't, and you just flushing yourself is what you're basically doing. So but
Got
yeah,
you.
yeah, for me, like I told you, California, because I was in a truck, is mostly Mexican food. So
Right.
for the most part it's mostly Mexican, and I don't like spicy food like that.
Got
So
you.
I would eat before I go into Cali,
Uh,
and I would try to find an In-N-Out burger or a Hardee's and get something, and then
I
get to
love In-N-Out.
Texas.
I love
Yeah,
In-N-Out. So next time if you're ever in California when I'm there, I'll definitely take you down to Crenshaw and Slauson, take you to Taco Mill, or I'll take you down to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles and whatnot, or these other soul food restaurants that are there and whatnot. Because they got the most of the black folks in California either from Oklahoma, Texas, or Louisiana, or
right.
Mississippi and whatnot. So they got that good Cajun down south, good cooking and whatnot. So
Yeah, yeah.
next time I'll show you around.
Yeah, you can show me around. I can run you up and down the highway. You could after you get that's it. That's it.
That is funny. So basically for the most part now you got the whole trucking industry down to a specific science and whatnot. As far as the routes that you're comfortable with, do you see yourself trying to advance and picking up any other hauls in the future, like you
Well,
talking about cars and whatnot?
I would. Here's a problem for me, and this is a problem for anybody that wants to go in their own business.
Mm,
Um, I need a driver that's like me. So I
got you.
want to get in more trucks, maybe 2 more trucks. Maybe in the future, I could see myself trying to get 2 more trucks.
Right.
But I need drivers that I'm comfortable like that. It's like me.
Mm,
I got to think about time.
mm,
I got to think about time management.
mm.
People don't understand that when time is something that you can't waste sometimes, especially
Right.
when you're in the trucking industry. I know when to go and when not to go.
Mm,
Okay, so like right now during the pandemic, it ain't so bad
right.
because I could rip. I'm running through Virginia like no other, and you can't run through Virginia like no other. Okay, so um, but with that being said, like going into New York City right now, I'm
Hmm.
going through New York, and it's not taking me 2 hours to get from the George Washington Bridge to Connecticut. Okay,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
so I know what time that I should leave if there was
Mm,
no pandemic. I
got
need to
you.
leave my house by, let's see, by 11 o'clock at night.
Mm, got you.
Now I'll take an hour and a half break once I get through Virginia.
Got you.
You understand? Because I know once I get to Northern Virginia, if I
uh,
don't make it through Stafford, Fredericksburg, and Alexandria by a certain time, oh my gosh, in the morning, and then you got the traffic going into DC, it could be a headache.
It's a
because you
nightmare.
overslept and you woke up at 2 o'clock. And I live in, and mind you, from here to, and so from here to Richmond is 2.5 hours. So if
Yeah.
I leave here at 3 o'clock, I'm in Richmond. I'm just in Richmond at
Right.
5:30. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
still got another 45 minutes to get up to you up in Dale City,
Right. Right.
and now it's 6 o'clock. You need to be through there by 4:30, by
About
five
four.
thirty in the morning. By
Yes.
5:30, you need to be rolling through there.
Yep.
So this way, I would take a nap. I would get up to Delaware. I would say, okay, I'm gonna get to Delaware. Once I
Right.
get up to the Delaware Maryland line, I would go to sleep for an hour and a half, or get to Jersey, because what I would be trying to do now, I'm there at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Mm.
Now my different animal. I'm gonna
Got
wait
you.
till the Jersey to the George Washington Bridge clear up at 10 o'clock. Let
Mm.
all them people go to work, take an hour and a half nap, and then once that clear up, I got at least when I come into New York City, I'm only dealing with that top end. I'm not dealing with all of it and I'm rolling into connect. But that's one thing. Knowing your traffic before you get in and out of some of these areas. People don't understand. It's only in the major cities, except for certain places. Uh, Louisiana, for
Right.
instance.
Right.
Okay, it could be a nightmare getting through Lake Charles, New
Mm.
Orleans, Shreveport.
Really?
Um, yeah, it could get where that Mississippi River. I can't call that name off the top of my head, but where 8 and 10, well, with 10 and 12 split,
Mm-hmm.
there's a nightmare right there.
Mm.
At the wrong time of the day, it could become a nightmare. Dallas could be a nightmare.
Well, that I can
Um,
believe.
Houston could be a nightmare.
Houston could be yeah. And the saddest thing is Dallas, Houston have some of the multiple roads everywhere, but yet and still their traffic can be a nightmare.
Right.
And
Well, it's because what it is, and think about it this way. It's like you got 495, 395, and 95. They all split at the same spot.
right.
And people can't get in their lane where they need to be so they could get off. So now you got so much crisscrossing going on. All you got to stop. And after that, well, it's the same way there. Like I said, where the 8-10, where the 10-12 split is in
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana.
Mm.
Atlanta is just a nightmare. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
even go through Atlanta, period, if I don't have to. But if I'm going to Texas from here, I'm leaving at night. I'm leaving here to get through Georgia at night. I'm not doing it in the daytime. Okay, God, that's just a nightmare.
Oh
So
my God.
those are the things you got to think about. Chicago's
Mm.
the same way.
I can
But
believe that.
the rest of the country, there ain't no
Mm-hmm.
traffic. It's just you hit these major hubs where 55 and 80 and 255 and all these different highways, they all meet. And yes, I do know the highway like it's my veins. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you where you are by you telling me what mile marker you sitting at in what
Mm.
state.
Got you.
That's just from riding through and knowing. So it's like I know all these highways and people that well, yeah, 155, 55, and all of that runs you from Illinois down to Arkansas, Oklahoma City, St.
Got you.
Louis, Missouri. St.
Got
Louis,
you.
Missouri could be a nightmare because of that factor. 70, 55, all that come in, 155, 355, all that comes in right in like one area. And
Damn.
now you got all these people crisscrossing 64. So
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I know them, and that's what makes you a better truck driver. Texas is different
Right.
because the speed limit in Texas is 80. I've seen the speed limit 80. When you first come into Texas from Louisiana, the speed limit is 80.
Yes.
But it's 898 miles from Louisiana to El Paso.
Right. Got you.
Okay, so that's why the speed limit is 80.
Right. Yeah. And then it's like you said, once they get away from the major cities and whatnot, it's nothing land, basically.
Yeah, it's nothing land.
There's nothing going on out there. It's just, literally little small rural towns all over the place. So it's kind of like a trucker's paradise when you think about it.
Kind of, yeah. It is because you can sit your truck, get your truck, put it on
Yep.
cruise control,
Mm-hmm.
set it at the speed you want, and just go
Mm-hmm.
and just look around
That's
and
real.
read road signs. And that's
Mm-hmm.
how you learn how many miles it is here and how many and where this is. And oh, I ate here last time. And so, you know, I
Right.
tell you, I I think that's Lake Charles. I think that's Lake Charles side. But when I go to Texas, I like
Mm-hmm.
to stop in Louisiana at what they call a Tiger Truck Stop, which is right by Lake Charles.
Mm.
I already know where I want to eat. When I get to Alabama, I'm going here. I'm gonna eat there. When I hit South Carolina, I know where I'm gonna eat. When I hit South Carolina, when I hit North Carolina, I'm good. I know where I'm gonna eat. So
Exactly.
my 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 thing is, my trip is about food. It consists of food. So I
You
gotta
ain't
eat.
worried about nothing else. You just worried about where you eating at.
Yeah. Yep.
That is funny.
Yeah, because that's most important. You got to be able to eat.
No, yeah,
So
absolutely and whatnot. Yeah, you gotta take it. You gotta make sure you're good to go and whatnot. You don't want to eat no crap. So
no,
let's
yeah.
let's just keep it real. So, cuz I really appreciate you doing this for me, man. Any words of wisdom or whatnot for anybody that's thinking about getting into the trucking business right now, in the future, anything of that nature?
Well, I tell you, it's right now is probably the best time.
Why is that?
Like why? 'Cause like when we was talking, I didn't really get into it, but um, the rates is high,
Mm,
and that's what we didn't get into. Rates, we got a little bit, but we really didn't get. The rates is high, so
please elaborate.
and
Yeah, please elaborate.
being the rates is high, I'm getting $3 and some change to go up to Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire. Before
Mm,
I was getting $2 and some change. I'm getting almost $2 and some change to come back out of Connecticut in that area.
mm,
Before you was getting 75 cents to a
mm,
dollar a
mm,
mile. Okay. So like I said, you could get a good truck, and you could really make some money.
mm.
And you could be your own man. That's the biggest thing. You don't have somebody. The only person you at the mercy of is a broker. They're gonna call you
Exactly.
and always aggravate you. Where you at? Where you at? Da 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 da. Are you gonna make it on time? But other than that, as long as you know what you could do with that
Mm,
truck, you
mm-hmm.
all right. You can make a whole lot of money, and
That
that's
and that
basically the thing.
and that's what it is, and that's what and that was what I was trying to get to earlier. I didn't realize because I forgot to mention that's what my friends were telling me that are truckers. They were like, yeah, the rates are so high, so a lot of people have been put in a position that they not only been able to buy a house for themselves because they've been killing it with the higher rates, but they've been actually able to even pay off the rig that they got or purchase the rig and whatnot because their goal is to be like you, is to become their own owner operator and whatnot. So
Right.
and
Yeah.
they've been loving the pandemic because of that situation.
Right.
Especially.
Because we can. This one, not to cut you off, but
Mm,
the only time it's high like that is, let's say, a hurricane.
mm,
Then we get FEMA loads. FEMA loads pay people, and
I
so
didn't even think about
and
that.
you don't run on no clock when you got a FEMA load.
Really?
Right. So you got a FEMA load. They need that water and food and bread as quickly as possible.
Mm.
So you just put a FEMA sign on your truck and you just go and you just run till you get tired.
Get the heck
Okay.
out of here.
Yeah, you take a break and you can get up and go. They
Mm,
literally reset your clock. You call, you say, I got a FEMA load. They reset your clock. But once you get the load there, then you got to take a 10-hour break and then you got to go back to a regular clock. Um, but now that the pandemic, for instance, like toilet paper, you can't find toilet paper.
mm,
So they don't run on no clock right now. They
got
don't got
you.
to run on no clock. I
Got you.
still think that they don't have to run on a clock with food.
Mm,
Refrigerators still don't got to run on a clock.
is that
So
right?
yeah, because food is scarce in some places. It's still not the store's still not stocked like it's supposed to be.
You're right about that.
So
And that's why food pantries have been running out of money and whatnot. So I didn't even think about that.
right, well, that's mostly the restaurants is out of business because
Mm,
they donate a lot of their food,
got
and
you.
that's a tax write off.
Mm, I didn't even think about that.
Restaurants. Yeah, so they
And
do a lot of donating the food. Schools do a lot of donating the food. Colleges. So
and with them not
this,
being open and whatnot, they're not able to donate.
right there you go. And the farmers wouldn't donate the milk. They just dumped the milk.
Really?
They just took the laws to dump the milk because there was no. Remember, the schools was nobody was in school,
That is true. So a lot
so
of
they
it's just been
lost a
going to
lot on the
waste.
milk. Yeah, so that they lost a lot on just milk this year alone. They dumped the milk. They literally dumped the milk. But if you don't pay it, I pay attention to the news all the time
Right.
because what my father taught me was they make laws while you sleep. They making rules for you while you sleep. So I started paying attention to the news, and you see, you'll notice what they do. They instead of giving it away, they dump the milk.
Mm, that's crazy.
So
Especially like during now, you think they would be, I guess, do the. It's not like it's illegal, but they would do like the ethical thing. Like, hey, people could use this. You know, people are starving, people facing eviction, foreclosure, whatever have you, and whatnot. But I guess at this point, it is what it is, right?
it's all about greed. It's all about greed.
It's all about greed.
So
It's all about greed. I mean, I
yeah.
guess it is what it is. But hey, man, let people know how they can get in contact with you and whatnot in regards to, because I know you've been starting to do your live videos and whatnot. So,
Yeah, I'm easy to get to on Facebook. So you get to me on Facebook. I'm doing my live video. I'm gonna start my YouTube channel.
all right,
But I'm doing it right now, Facebook Live, because you could get more people on Facebook right
right,
now than I can get through to on YouTube. Then when I get to YouTube and then I could do it both, I got a little bit more time. Like I told you, my truck is paid for in August, so I have way more time come August.
I know that's
So
right. You looking forward to that, huh?
yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. And then also you can catch me on Messenger. Obviously, if you because we basically got the same friends on
Right.
Facebook, I guess, except for friends you went to school with and stuff. So, but Digger, you can always contact you, or you can always contact any one of the people that know us. And I'm all like I said on my channel, I'm on my phone more than I'm sleeping. So just call me. I could talk for days.
I know that's right. Well,
So
you get some rest, young man, and I appreciate you and keep doing what you're doing. We are definitely proud of you, man. And hey, we need more people to aspire to be like you as far as from being a boss and an owner and all that good stuff, because that's what we need more of nowadays, not just workers. So greatly appreciate it, cousin.
yep, and I appreciate you too, and I'm proud of you. You doing the same thing. You giving out information. And there's not a lot of people giving out information or trying to seek somebody out to get information to give it to somebody else.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's the key.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. Reach one, teach one, right?
Yeah, reach one, teach one.
All
Yep.
right, sir. Well, you take it easy. Have a great night. Much love to you and your family. And it's all good. We definitely got to do this again. I'll probably have you on with another owner operator and let you all just talk it out. And as I sit in the background taking notes and whatnot. All right.
That's okay with me. We could do this any night. We could do this for hours.
All right, young man. Take it easy, sir.
All right. Have a good night. Tell your moms I said hi.
I will.
All right, cuz. All right.
All right, family. Thank you for tuning in. Greatly appreciate having my family on. It's always great to learn. I learned a lot about the trucking industry tonight, and that's what it's all about. Hey, I'm an expert in certain things, and I know certain things that I'm not an expert at. So thank you all for watching, from the family members to the friends and all that good stuff, and to the regular viewers. It's greatly appreciated. Hopefully you guys all have a great and safe night, especially my people that are out there driving in the roads. Be safe in the streets. People that don't have power, hopefully your power is restored. Much love and respect to the blue collar workers that are helping restore the power out there, because it is a very cold night with the folks in the South, on the East Coast. Even my people in Texas got snow and ice and whatnot. So everyone stay safe out there. And remember, make money moves and live broke like a fool. All right? So take care, family. I'm out.